Well, good afternoon. I have a snow update, but if you look outside and if you look at a radar map, I think it's the storm has basically passed us, and we've probably been pretty lucky. The further you get away from Midtown streets where the heat comes out of the streets, the more snow there is on the ground. But we have spreaders and plows all around the city. And the only thing that I would caution everybody is it's supposed to get colder tonight. And so what is slush today becomes ice, and then it becomes dangerous. So be very careful when you drive, but particularly also when you're walking out there. It will be dangerous to go around. But having said that, we're in good shape, and we didn't have plows tearing up our streets, which is the biggest expense. Actually, that cost us a lot more every year than removing the snow and putting salt and sand down. We've been very lucky for the last few years, and I think once again we can say we're in the right place. Now, as far as today's announcement, let me start out by thanking Jeffrey Canada and everyone here at Harlem's Children's Zone Promise Academy 2 for hosting us today, a day when Harlem once again makes history, because today we're here to launch the largest continuous outdoor Wi-Fi network anywhere in the nation. And when it's fully built out by next spring, it will cover 95 city blocks from 110th Street to 138th Street. And you see a map here between Madison Avenue and Frederick Douglass Boulevard. It will provide free, fast outdoor internet connections for portable devices 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Nearly 80,000 residents, and I can tell you, as I was driving up here, I wish I had had some of that. It was hard to make a phone call, but much harder to get data. As well as to everyone who comes to Central Harlem to work, shop, and enjoy the community's outstanding cultural and entertainment values. They'll be able to participate as well. This pioneering project is a result of a major public-private partnership. Its creation and the first 5 years of operation are being funded by a generous donation to the Mayor's Fund to Advance New York City from Glenn and Amanda Furman. Thank you very much, through the Furman Family Foundation, and they're going to say a few words in a minute. Lots of people talk about closing the digital divide, as you know, but Glenn and Amanda are actually doing something about it. And the Furmans learned of other outdoor Wi-Fi networks being launched in our city, and they sought out the opportunity to expand access in additional areas. And I want to thank them for their vision and their dedication, and for a gift that will make Harlem one of the top information technology hotspots in the nation. The city, as you know, is overseeing implementation of this new network. Its project manager is the nonprofit Technology Development Corporation, working closely with the city's Department of Information Technology and Telecommunications. TDC was developed by the city's Chief Information and Innovation Officer, Rahul Merchant, who is here. Wave your hand. And Deputy Mayor Kaz Holloway, who's not here to wave his hand, to deliver complex IT projects. And like the recent successful launch of the new nyc.gov website, TDC and DoIT, his agency, Department of Information Technology and Telecommunications, are working with Sky Packets, a private provider, a technology provider. Now, before turning things over to our other speakers, let me simply add this. Creating the nation's largest continuous Wi-Fi network is a big step towards our administration's goal of making New York the #1 digital city in the nation. The explosive growth of tech startups and tech jobs that we have fostered, and our success in bringing major new applied science campuses to our city, are big parts of that drive, and so is making sure that all New Yorkers are eligible or able to get on the information superhighway. Increased Wi-Fi access is a big part of that effort, which is why we have to date established public Wi-Fi networks in more than 50 city parks, and why this fall we also launched a Wi-Fi Corridor Challenge. For those of you that don't really think about it, every day, every app becomes richer in terms of content and visuals and different kinds of media being brought together. All of that requires bandwidth, and so what was adequate even a year ago is certainly not adequate today, and it's not going to be possibly adequate tomorrow. We've got to constantly upgrade our capacity to interact with each other over technology, and this is part of that. Our goal is to bring free outdoor internet connections to neighborhood and commercial districts throughout the 5 boroughs, and we are, I'm happy to say, well on our way. To help every New Yorker get online, our NYC Connected Communities innovative initiative has subsidized broadband connections for thousands of low-income New Yorkers. It also conducts computer literacy courses at libraries, senior centers, and via a digital van that circulates among the city's public housing developments. It's by far the largest and most successful effort to increase computer literacy and expand internet access ever seen in our city, and very possibly the largest and most successful in the nation as well. The Harlem Wi-Fi network is opening a new and exciting chapter in this story, and the Harlem Children's Zone has a role to play in that as well, and that includes conducting a competition among HCZ high school students to design a marketing campaign for the network. And the winner is going to be announced next Monday, but we're going to take a picture with them before we leave, so you'll get a chance to ooh and ah. To tell us more about that, let me turn things over to Harlem Children's Zone CEO Jeffrey Canada. Jeffrey?
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor Bloomberg. And the mayor may not remember my excitement some years ago when I said that we were thinking as an organization in our zone, this area that is very much outlined for the free Wi-Fi, of how we use technology to close not just the digital divide, but the educational divide between our children in Harlem and other children in New York City and New York State. And our organization, the Harlem Children's Zone, has invested significant dollars and the use of technology both in our schools as well as in the surrounding schools in this area. But we kept running into this problem of families not being able to gain access to the internet. So we're thinking about how do we help parents support their kids, how do kids search for information when they're not at school, and because families often have trouble paying bills, they have trouble finding ways to get on the internet to help their kids. And I just thought it would be a dream come true if we could have free Wi-Fi for all the children and all the families in Harlem, so that people with their phones and other devices could get on the internet for all the educational reasons we think would be terrific, and we could communicate with parents about homework assignments and all these other things. And the mayor said, I'm a little busy, but I'll get back to you. And he got back to me. And this idea of doing an entire zone where our families and our young people have access to the internet is something that, for me, is a dream come true. Now, I know Glenn and Amanda, and they have been supporters of the Harlem Children's Zone. And the fact that we're starting this initiative here in Harlem is something that the whole community, and I think all the businesses in Harlem, all of the folk who come to visit, as well as the people who live here, are going to thank you for your generous contribution. And we are thinking about our entire community, including the housing developments, and our partner in our new school, John Rayer, has been instrumental in helping us build this school, as well as continue to push education to our young people. So I want to say thank you so much for this investment in us. The team that's going to do the advertising and get this word out all over Harlem, we're going to contact every business, every resident, every community person who lives here and said, there's a great opportunity. We've got a team of young, smart, young people who are going to do this. And Matt Blank, who is the head of Showtime and a board member, is donating for free one of the best advertising companies to help us get this word out to our entire community. So this is a clear public-private partnership. I think the whole team is here, and we could not be more excited. And I can only guarantee you that once this site is up and running, there will be literally thousands of young people whose lives are going to be enriched. So thank you all very much, and I really look forward to the whole entire zone being free access Wi-Fi.
Jeffrey, thank you. I'd like to also ask Rahul Merchant, the city's Chief Information and Innovation Officer, to describe how the Harlem Wi-Fi network will unfold.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I'm really thrilled to be here with the mayor and all the partners here at the Harlem Children's Zone. This is going to be, as the mayor said, the largest seamless Wi-Fi network in the country. When it's done, it's about 80,000 residents, 13,000 folks living in the city, as well as local businesses and everybody that visits Harlem will have free, uninterrupted 2 megabytes access to the Wi-Fi, which is first in the country. And this is going to be a model for rest of the cities, not just in New York, but everywhere in the world. So this is very exciting to be part of it. At Do It, as we call it, Department of Information Technology and Telecommunication, the agency that I run, we are generally involved in most of the internal and external facing applications, such as nyc.gov or running the networks and the data centers of the city. But very frequently, we do get involved in lots of efforts such as this, and it is our privilege to be part of this. As Mayor described, our BTOP program, as we call Broadband Technology Opportunity Program, that has done countless number of Wi-Fi type projects, 50 parks, 100 public libraries, and so on and so forth. We have touched close to about 3 million lives today in the city through this program. So when this program is done, it is going to be in 3 phases. The first phase is going to be 110th to the 120th Street, which will be completed by end of this month. The second phase will then extend to 126th Street, which is called phase 2. It will be completed by February end. And the last phase, phase 3, all the way up to 138th Street, will be completed by second week of May. So we are very, very aggressive and optimistic and want to make sure that this program gets done on time. And of course, we couldn't have done it without Glenn and Amanda Furman. 2 of them, I have to say, have been involved in this project from the time of inception into every implementation detail, right from the get-go over the last 3 months. I also would like to thank Megan Sheikey and Diana Petty from the Mayor's Fund. They have been instrumental in bringing all of us together. And of course, my favorite project managers from Technology Development Corporation that will oversee and make sure, just as nyc.gov was completed quite on time and within the budget, and a couple other programs, this program will get done on time and on budget. So thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Rahul, thank you. I should point out, in addition to Megan, we also have our Chief Digital Officer, Rachel Hout, and John Rea, Chairman of NYCHA. So welcome to all of you. Now, the 2 stars of today, because without them, we wouldn't be here. It is my pleasure to introduce the proud New Yorkers who approached the Mayor's Fund with the idea of expanding Wi-Fi access in Harlem. We didn't go to them, they came to us. And now their generosity is making that vision a reality. Glenn and Amanda Furman, thank you both once again. I asked them to speak for no more than an hour and a half. They said they'd try to shorten their remarks to that.
Thank you, Mayor. Appreciate it. As the mayor said, this did start with an idea. We had heard about the Google free Wi-Fi after reading an article in the paper, and just kind of thought to ourselves, wow, that's a great idea. Wouldn't it be great to do something like that in Harlem? We sent off an email to the mayor's office over our Wi-Fi network, and that email was just the beginning of what ultimately ended up with this project almost a year later. As you can imagine, installing a Wi-Fi network like this over this geography is not that easy, and one of the most important things you need is access to building sites all over the area to put up little antennas. And the second call we made after contacting the mayor's office was to Joe Toll and Rodney Propp, who are property owners that we knew in the region, and they enthusiastically not only said yes, they offered up all their buildings that they owned for free forever. And I see Joe's in the audience. Thank you, Joe, and Rodney as well. And just that initial enthusiasm, and basically every single person we talked to about this idea just embraced it so enthusiastically. Of course, Jeffrey and Mindy at the Harlem Children's Zone, and everybody just made it so easy. I would say that the idea and the reason why we got so excited about this is it really satisfies everything that Amanda and I really believe in. First and foremost is our love for New York City. Secondly is our belief in the power of technology. And third is our belief in education and the power of education. I would say the fourth thing that's not officially part of it that my wife appreciates is food, and the importance of local food. So maybe people will use the Wi-Fi network to order local food and to get more involved in their community farms, because that would be also a wonderful thing. But as was said, this has been such a seamless project. The city's staff has been incredibly impressive. Everybody has been so involved from the get-go, and it's really just been a pleasure for us to be involved. So thanks to everybody involved.
I would be remiss, since we're here at the Harlem Children's Zone, if I did not embarrass, but feel obliged to, one of the great New Yorkers that we have. He and his wife have made an enormous difference, both for Jeffrey and for the city. Stanley Dracamello. Stanley, thank you, and thank Fiona for everything you guys do. We're now